Going on? So I saw a video. First of all, actually, I saw the Floyd Mayweather video, but then I saw another video about 78 Sports TV made it, and shout out to my boy from 78 Sports. Um, it was an interesting video. It was very interesting. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Why he sold out, and there was something I saw once of 78 Sports TV that made me like him. He made a very interesting video, right? It makes me laugh, right? First of all, but he made a very interesting video, which after that I had respect for the guy for what he said. But we're not gonna get into that. But irrespective, I've got respect for him. Now he's saying right that Mayweather. I'm gonna say this off the bat that I disagree in certain regards, respectfully, with you, my brother. Okay. Now me, I'm not a black person. All right, I'm not a black guy, and I'm of Pakistani heritage, and I'm a Muslim. Maybe not a good Muslim, maybe not the best Muslim, but I definitely am a Muslim, and I don't do a lot of things. I do certain bad things, as everybody does, but I try my best to avoid what I can. Okay. Now, what he said was that Mayweather Jr., and I'm going to tell you why I mentioned that I'm a Muslim in a minute. When he talked about Mayweather Jr., he said that Mayweather Jr. was a coon, that he's a sellout, and we shouldn't follow this guy. Okay. The same has been said about Layla Ali, that she's a coon. Look, Layla Ali is all about the coon train. She doesn't want to offend anybody. All lives matter. Now, just as a person on the outside, I think it's relevant for who's not white and who's not black. I think it makes sense for me to talk on this topic, right? That's why I'm doing this video. Because if you're black and you say something on one side of it, you're slated. If you're black and you're this side of it, they're gonna say that you're biased. Okay. So for me, I'm not gonna get no criticism in that regard. So I can say what I want, right? Now, and what I'm gonna say is gonna be legit, right? It's not gonna be biased because I'm neither. This man right here, Malcolm Little, Malcolm X, is the man whose biography I have read, I think, about 3 times. If you want to look up to someone in recent times and you want to follow someone, this was a great man, okay? He wasn't perfect and he grew as a person, but what a great man Malcolm X was, okay? Now, the Nation of Islam, which is the group that he was a part of, was also followed by another person. And I'm sure you're all familiar with this man. Cassius Clay, who changed his name to Muhammad Ali. Now, Muhammad Ali had an opinion when he was young. Okay, let me just show you a quote. It's this. The man who views the world at 50 the same as he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of his life. Muhammad Ali. Malcolm X, right, went on a trip to Saudi Arabia, right, in the Arabian Peninsula, to carry out his pilgrimage, right? And his opinion changed. When he was there, he realized something. He realized that people over there, black, white, yellow, Afghanis, Persians, Iraqi, Chinese, Filipino, everybody from all corners of the globe, all throughout Europe, were gathered there, eating and drinking out of the same plates, out of the same cups. And guess what? This man who said the words that the white man is a devil was sharing his plate with the white man. Okay. So what does that tell us? And I'm going to comment about something about Floyd Mayweather. This man, Floyd Mayweather Jr., right? This man right here, I respect him. because he inspires me to be the best that I can be in terms of business, in terms of drive, in terms of career, and he inspires me in that sense. He's such a hard-working person, and I disagree with 78 Sports TV on the fact that this guy is not someone to admire. This guy is someone to admire, but in a certain regard. Okay. Inside the ring, he is a phenomenal athlete. Okay. Outside of the ring, he is a phenomenal businessman. However, this guy can't read. Okay, I've heard him reading. He can't read a proper, sophisticated book. Now, what should you do if you can't read a book? You should learn how to damn read a book. A person who's in this man's boots and in his position should be representing not just the black community, but he should be representing like Muhammad Ali did. But that's what I'm saying, there is no Muhammad Ali. You're not going to get another Muhammad Ali. This guy should be representing his community. He should be representing justice, and he should be standing up for what is right. But what does he stand for? Like Malcolm X said, a man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. And let me show you a quote. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. This was a man who used to read, and read. And just since we're like on this video, right, I just want to say something. If you've watched this video, please share this video. Please share this video. Okay, so people can get a bit of an understanding. Now, back to what I was saying. So these two both here changed their opinions on the devilish white man, right? And I feel that a lot of black people today who are following this Black Lives Matter movement and are hashtagging this are obsessing with the views that these men carried when they were young. These men's views changed. Please, right, let me finish my video. Let me finish what I'm saying, because I'm not done yet. Because if you watch it halfway, you're going to get a certain opinion. Now, I'm going to say it like this, right? That this is my opinion, and I could be wrong, okay? I'm grown enough to say that I can be wrong. But to me, I've seen what's around me, and I've read books, and I've seen, you know, moving from where I've lived and living in London now. I've seen lots of different people, met different people from all around the globe, and I really realise how big and diverse the world is. And I'm going to say this here, that I think you have good and bad in everyone. That might sound like a comment that might be, you know, pushed around, and, you know, it's a really common thing to say. But I do think there is good and bad in everyone. Okay? And let me show you the examples, right, of modern. Okay? Modern sports. This is a boxing channel. What do you call this man? This man destroyed Mike Tyson. He destroyed the greatest boxer and one of the best humans to walk the planet of recent times, Muhammad Ali. Don King. Don King is a heartless, selfish, snaky person. Ruthless. Okay? He has given a bad name to black promoters. This is the guy why everybody thinks right now, like the reason everybody thinks and thought before that Al Heyman is going to be a bad person is because of this guy, because of what message he left behind. Now, I'm going to show you another guy who I don't like. Okay, he's not as bad as other people, but he's a sellout too. His name is Barack Obama. Correct me if I'm wrong, but very quickly into presidency, didn't this guy bomb Somalia? Okay, has he not bombed and killed innocent black, poor people? He's black though, right? Last I checked, he's black. Might have some white in him, but he's black. First black president, yeah? Now, I'm going to say this though. I'm going to say that although you do get these types of characters, within black people, something I've noticed, and I've grown up around a lot of black people, and I've seen good and bad in them. But they lack a spitefulness. You know, they don't have this um this I don't know what the word is. They don't have this evil nature to them. Some people do. I mean, you have, you go certain places across the world, you will see black people doing the most ruthless, savage things. But then look, man, they're savages. Okay, they are savages. The area that they're around is ruthless. Now, these men are sophisticated men. Okay, what we're talking about here, they live in America. They've been brought up. They're educated. And I just want to go back to this video about Floyd Mayweather Jr. What he said about all lives matter. Now, in the criminal justice system, right, in America, it's a private system. The system is set to, and I want to remind people of something. We are not living in the 80s or the 70s or the 90s or the 60s. We're living in 2016. And you can go to a court of law and you can take it to the higher courts. There are, and I don't know exactly what it's like in America, but in Britain, you're more likely to get discriminated in a job because you're Muslim than you are because of your skin tone. Now, is there still racism? Obviously, there's racism. There's racism towards Chinese people, there's racism towards brown people, and there is a significant amount of racism towards black people. And there's a stereotype that exists because, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to go out on a limb, okay? If I go out on the street, right, today, and I wear a hoodie, and I've got jogging bottoms on, and I'm walking, if I'm in a car, and I'm driving, and I've got a hoodie on, I promise you, there is more chance of me getting stopped than if I was to go out dressed smart. Okay, so what is that? That's stereotype. If I go out, and my hair's short, and I've got my slit in, which I've had in my head for years, and I go out like that, I will get judged in a certain way. If I go out with longer hair and my hair's slick and gelled up, I will get judged in another way, and I won't get as much trouble. In the system that we have today, we have humans policing our streets, and humans make they stereotype. It's normal. Now, why do they stereotype? They stereotype because on a day-to-day basis, they get to see where crimes take place, how people commit crimes, and what them people look like. So they develop stereotypical behaviors. Now, I'm going to say this, right, that being a British Pakistani, right, I'm going to switch this and flip this onto my people now, right? As a British Pakistani, I think that British Pakistanis today, a lot of them act like absolute idiots. A lot of them act like absolute idiots, right? And they should be ashamed of themselves. And you know what? The same goes for the black community too. You don't see Chinese people doing this, right? They don't act like this. You don't get, and I think it's this gangster mentality that exists, and it's very prevalent in the UK. It's very prevalent, and in America, I think it's Mexicans as well and Latinos that do it as well. And because a large group of people within certain cultures and certain colours of people act a certain way, right? The police have a stereotype of them people. Now, I promise you, if a policeman, right, a police officer, or a policeman or woman, right, sees a black person in a suit, walking, looking smart, you will get the odd officer who is going to be racist, right, and stop that person because he's black. You will get that. There's no denying that. However, are they going to stop and search that person because they think he's carrying a weapon? Unlikely. So are they stopping and searching black people and harassing black people because of their skin tone, or is it because of a mixture of things? If I walk through Harlem being a brown guy, right, and I'm not black, if I walk through Harlem or I walk through some rough streets in Brixton in London, or I go to, go up to some rough areas in Manchester and Leeds and Bradford and Birmingham, if I go up to some rough ends, right, and I'm wearing jogging bottoms, some trainers and a hoodie, and a police officer asks me to stop and I start giving him grief and I start whatever, right, I'm gonna get in shit. But if I walk through them streets in a suit and boot, am I gonna get the same stick? No, I'm not. So get my point. The criminal justice system that exists, right, it's got a lot of problems in there. But collectively as a people, and I'm gonna move on to one more thing before I finish this video up, right? A couple more things actually. I'm not done yet. And also, I'm putting my ideas out there, and I want people to comment and tell me what you think, right? But if we as a people, right, don't educate our community and blame the system and blame white people for all our problems, nah, man, I don't think that's the way to go forward. I think we as a people need to change. I think the way we act needs to change. You know, we need to educate ourselves. That's my opinion. And I'm going to say this, okay? Do I think that if a police officer, not all, but some, sees a white person doing the same thing a black person is doing, will they stop and search that person? I think on a whole, this is my opinion, and I'm not backing this to any way, but actually, I saw a video on the internet, okay? And, right, I'm going to say this, right? I saw an experiment take place, right, where, long story short, they got black people to do a certain thing, and they got white people dressed up in the same manner to do a certain thing, and it looked like, I think they were robbing a car, or they were surrounding the car, and when the white people did it, everybody around them didn't say anything, nobody called the police. When the black kids did it, they called the police. Okay, they were dressed the same, so what does that show you? That shows you that there is a sense of racism there towards black people. Okay? And it ain't just black people. This is the thing, right? When Mayweather says, right, that all lives matter. Now, I'm not really a fan of Floyd anyway, right, in terms of these types of topics, but I'm going to say something. Latinos, Mexicans, black people, my own people, right? You've got to understand that these types of subgroups, a lot of us are drug dealers. And you get that in every community, but our community especially, we have high amounts of white collar crime. We have large amounts of drug dealing. And I don't know why it exists. I really don't know. I've been trying to get to the root of the problem, and I think it's because we watch too much damn TV, to be honest, right? And I think it's a multitude of reasons. When we came into the country, and it's so many different things. Like, I'd be here forever, like, explaining it, but I don't think it's just a matter of. I think what May was saying is right, that you can't just say that it's just black people, because it's not. The issue that you're talking about and the Lives Matter movement, it should be applied to all these different, what's the word, ethnic minorities, you want to call them. Not all, but quite a few, you know. But we're to blame. We should take a certain segment of that blame upon ourselves as well, because our people act like idiots. I mean, you can't sit there and tell me that black people, right, are totally innocent and that they don't have large amounts of crime that takes place in the streets, and that they don't rob people, and they don't drug deal, and it's not glamorized in Hollywood. And obviously, look, man, the reason that it all takes place, right, is because of a man like this will be sat producing movies, and, you know, carrying out. You've seen Boys in the Hood, and you've seen it all, right? You've seen the subculture and the gangster culture that's fed out to us, and how we follow it, right? And, you know, but this is the thing, right? Nobody says anything about this guy, right, importing God knows how many amounts, God knows how much, you know, drugs these guys import. I mean, I've seen, right, these guys are the real criminals, okay? And, you know, when you're bombing Iraq and Afghanistan, and you're allowing Israel to destroy Palestine, and you're not doing anything about it, and you don't care, right? And you don't care about other people across the world who are getting killed, I mean, you're a hypocrite. You're talking about your own community being degraded, etc. But what about when America goes and bombs places across the world, okay? And there's black people in the armies, people like Adrian Bronner who support the armies, people like Lamont Peterson, and a significant amount of the black community who I'm very disappointed in, who support these wars. And there's a lot of black people, a lot of black brothers who don't, and them I'm proud of, okay? But there's a lot of black people who support these wars, okay, these unjust wars, and they follow it blindly and stupidly and shout proudly, "I'm American," but they forget what happened to them, and they forget their own history, okay? And I rate Muhammad Ali because he didn't go to Vietnam, right? He didn't kill people in Vietnam. He didn't serve in the American War. Joe Louis did. And I ain't got respect for Joe Louis like I do Ali because of what he did, alright? He was just a yes man. So leave your comments in the section below. I've said a lot of things. Some things right, some things wrong, I'm sure. But let me know what you think. Leave your comment section below. Subscribe as always. I'm just giving my take on this whole issue. And that's it. In a bit, guys. Be Real TV.